Happiness. It's such a strange concept. People come to me and say, I'm not happy. And I ask them, why should you be? Who told you that happiness is something you're just entitled to? Without effort, without pain, without discipline. Happiness is at the top of the mountain, and most of you haven't even taken the first step. You haven't earned it. See, I believe every human being on this planet has something to prove. And if you walk through life believing you have nothing to prove, you've already lost. If you wake up and say, I don't owe anyone anything, I don't have to prove myself to anybody, then you're wrong. Dead wrong. You must prove yourself to the people around you, to your family, to your bloodline, to God. God despises laziness. He gave you arms, legs, a brain, a heart, and you're wasting it? That's not bad luck. That's disrespect. God favors the ones who take what he gave them and build something exceptional. He loves to watch someone turn raw potential into real greatness. That's the beauty of being a man. You get to build who you are. But then I hear people say, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Really? Your ancestors survived plagues. They outran death. They faced wars, famine, brutal winters. And you think you owe them nothing because you want to sit in your room playing video games? You're not just lazy. You're an insult to your own bloodline. I wake up every day with something to prove. I have hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm in peak physical shape. I'm a 4-time world champion. I've stood against the Matrix alone. And still, I push harder. I try more. I fight further. Because that's what winners do. Only peasants believe they've done enough. But kings? Even kings crave conquest. They already have everything, yet they still march forward. Because the hunger never dies. Kings didn't sit on thrones and relax. They still felt the need to go out and conquer new lands. Why? Because real men don't sit still. Real men need to prove themselves, constantly. But today, too many of you are walking around saying, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Let me tell you something. That mindset makes you a loser, a fool. As for me, I live every single day with something to prove. To myself, to the world, to my bloodline, to God. If I say I'm going to do something, I prove it. Words mean nothing without action. Nobody cares if you're happy. Here's a truth no one wants to hear. Nobody cares if men are happy. We care if women are happy. We care if children are smiling. But no one's losing sleep over a man's sadness. On Christmas morning, the dad smiles not because of what he received. He smiles because his wife and children are happy. And what does he get? Socks. Because no one really thinks about what the man needs. So why are you, as a man, chasing happiness? That's how you walk into the traps. That's how you become weak. I don't chase happiness. I'm not sad. I'm not miserable. I live an amazing life. But I never wake up thinking, how do I feel today? No, I wake up and say, what needs to be done? And I do it, regardless of how I feel. Lock me in a dungeon, trap me in the dark, take everything from me. I will still drop to the floor and do push-ups. Because duty remains, honor remains, discipline never dies. You do the work, happy or sad. You fight, tired or energetic. You lead, whether you feel like it or not. That's the difference between boys and men. And here's the twist. If you don't chase happiness, if you chase discipline, power, pride, happiness comes anyway. It follows pride. It follows purpose. It's the side effect of being a strong man. I don't want women to suffer. A good man protects his woman from hardship. That's when she becomes her most feminine, most loving self. But a man? He needs to suffer. He needs to struggle. He needs to get hit, lose something, get crushed, and get back up. That's how you become your best self. So when someone emails me and says, my wife left me, I'm devastated, you know what I say? Good. You're heartbroken? Good. You lost your house? Good. You're broke? Good. Because now you've been handed the flame. Now you'll get up and work like a beast. Now you'll find your fire. If you're honest with yourself, you'll admit the greatest transformations in your life came through pain, not comfort. When things were easy, you were soft. When life hit you, you leveled up. Let me say it straight. If you live your entire life and never make a dent in the world, then you never existed. You were invisible, and nobody will remember you. But you have a choice. Do you want an easy life in obscurity, doing just enough to get by, knowing deep down you could have been something but never tried? Or do you want to fight for your legacy? To struggle every single day, to pay the rent that life demands? Because we all pay rent. We pay rent to keep our bodies strong. We pay rent to raise our children right. We pay rent to keep our business alive. We pay rent to stay free every single day. You're either working or you're falling. So take out a pen, look at yourself in the mirror, and decide, do you want to be nothing and coast, or do you want to be someone who mattered and suffer with pride? Because this is a binary choice. You must pick. And once you do, you must never back down. Stop waking up and asking, how do I feel today? That's not how greatness works. You wake up and ask, what needs to be done? What will make me proud of myself today? What will push me closer to becoming unstoppable? And then you do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's how winners live. That's how legends are made. That's how you rise. I refuse to believe that there are people who can't be fulfilled. I refuse to accept that God created human beings with no chance of ever becoming content, no matter how hard they work. That's not real. That's weakness talking. The universe is not your enemy. It's a mirror. God gave us all a path, a mission, a set of tools, but you have to use them. If you put in the work, if you give your best, you can become better. You can become great. And greatness, that's the entire beauty of life as a man. To be great, to be remembered, to dominate. So here's the real question you need to ask yourself. Do you want to be a happy nobody? Someone who smiles a lot but no one respects? Women don't notice you? Men don't admire you? Nobody even cares if you're alive. Is that the life you want? Or do you want to be a powerful, respected man? A little stressed maybe? A little burdened, but important. Feared, admired, remembered. Most of you don't just lack drive. You lack imagination. You don't even see what's possible. You don't dream big. And without vision, you're finished before you begin. When my brother and I were broke, we used to imagine constantly. We'd sit there and dream. What would it feel like to fly private? To own a supercar? To be world famous? To live free? To never worry about food again? That hunger was real. You had nothing, but we imagined everything. We saw ourselves as winners before we even won. We saw ourselves as world champions before we stepped in the ring. And that belief created a fire inside us. So many of you fail because you don't even believe in the life you could have. And until you start seeing it in your mind, you will never live it in reality. Real hunger never gets tired. You ask me how I never get tired when I fight? Because I want to hurt my opponent more than I want to rest. I'm hungrier than I am tired. That's the mentality of a winner. That's why real champions come from nothing. There are no middle-class champions. Because comfort kills hunger. You need fire. You need that obsession. You need to build an imagination strong enough to pull you out of your soft little bubble and drop you into war mode. You need to see the life you could have and be sickened by the one you're settling for. Comfort is your enemy. Most of you are not defeated by poverty. You're not defeated by your enemies. You're defeated by comfort. Comfort has enslaved you. You don't want freedom, you want ease. And ease has never made a man powerful. When I've got everything handled, my family is protected, my kids are fed, the people I love are taken care of, that's when I feel fun. That's fulfillment. But if you ask me to trade even a piece of that discipline for some random fun activity, my answer is no. Because that's not fun to me. That's distraction. And anyone who thinks distraction is fun is already too broken to be fixed. Fun is a trap. Purpose is freedom. You're not unhappy because life is hard. You're unhappy because you're chasing fun instead of chasing purpose. You're trying to feel good instead of trying to become great. And until you understand the difference, you'll stay lost. Imagine being the most Googled man on earth, a kickboxing world champion, hundreds of millions in the bank, built like a tank, respected worldwide. Imagine how it feels to look in the mirror when you've become everything you dreamed. Nothing else compares. Nothing else can match that kind of power. Manifestation isn't about magic. It's about focus. If you constantly visualize the man you want to become, you'll act differently. You'll move differently. You'll train harder. You'll chase more. The thoughts don't build your body. The gym does. But thoughts get you through the door. Once you understand that every moment of pain and every moment of joy is part of God's plan, you stop overreacting to setbacks. You start to realize that heartbreak, that failure, that loss, it was a lesson. And in the end, you'll be glad it happened. So why be upset now? When a year from now, you'll look back and say, that's the moment I was reborn. As a man, happiness comes from respect, not love. You want to feel good? Earn your own respect. Make others respect you. That's what gives your soul peace. When I wake up, I don't ask, how can I feel happy? I ask, what can I do today that will make me proud? What can I achieve that will earn respect? I want to walk through my door and have my woman say, there's no man like you. I want my kids to say, Dad's a superhero. I want my mother to call me and say, son, I couldn't be more proud. That's the life worth living. Sit down, look at your life, and ask yourself, what will give me endless motivation? Is it imagining the dream life? Is it building a circle of elite men pushing you forward? Yes, it's all of that and more. Analyze every area of your life, one by one. Cut out the weak parts. Inject fire into everything you do. Design a lifestyle that fuels your obsession, because without that fire, you will lose. That fire inside of you makes you invincible, unstoppable, unkillable. The kind of man who survives anything. It's the fire that turns average men into legends. You want more from life? Then show God that you deserve it. Discipline is destiny. But it's easy to be disciplined when all you've ever known is pain. And that's why you should be ashamed if you had a head start and still lost. My brother and I started miles behind you, and we surpassed you in every measurable way. No money, no help, no privilege, just hunger and grit. If that doesn't light a fire under you, nothing will. So now, right now, you need to wake up. You need to act. You need to stop waiting for a sign. This is your sign. This is on you. There's nothing stopping you from winning except you. You've been given a blueprint. You've been handed the fuel. You've got the vision, the path, and the challenge. Now burn the excuses and build the life.